Nerdrotic.com.
Up front, I'm not talking about Superman and Lois from the CW proving that this is Bizarro World. That pilot was actually pretty damn good. And if it stays the course, it's going to be the best Superman, because today, unfortunately, our worst fears have been confirmed. Superman Reboot in the works at Warner Brothers, with Ta-Nehisi Coates writing, Jar Jar Abrams producing. As you know, Jar Jar Abrams was given $500 million, that's $500 million to you and me, to go work at Warner Brothers, and we all suspected it was to run a new DCEU because he wants to be the new Kevin Feige, because his ego is that big, he hasn't destroyed enough franchises, and it looks like that is the case. Deadline has confirmed that author Ta-Nehisi Coates is writing a Superman Reboot feature for Warner Brothers and DC, which Jar Jar Abrams is producing under his bad Reboot label. And I can hear the Warner Brothers boardroom now. Who would be the two best people to produce a Superman film? Well, maybe we can get Stephen S. Knight. He wrote Daredevil, and Matthew Vaughn, he directed Kingsman and Kick-Ass. Nah, let's get Jar Jar Abrams and Ta-Nehisi Coates. We need guys who hate Superman. Hannah Minghella will serve as producer. No plot yet and no attachments, despite the fact that we've heard how Henry Cavill is eager to get back into the Cape. And I would love to see him back in the Cape, but not in an Abrams Coates joint. As the national correspondent for The Atlantic, Coates covered cultural, social, and political issues, specifically that of African Americans and white supremacy. His 2014 cover story for the publication, The Case for Reparations, started a national conversation on that subject. It was named the top work of journalism of the decade by New York University's Carter School of Journalism Institute. Coates has also written for The Village Voice, Time, and contributed to the New York Times Magazine, Washington Post, and more. Not hearing a lot of Superman work there or DC Comics work. His nonfiction books include The Beautiful Struggle, Between the World and Me, and We Were 8 Years in Power, An American Tragedy Between the World and Me. Won the 2015 National Book Award for nonfiction. Still waiting for that Superman story. Of note, Coates has written a Black Panther and a Captain America series for Marvel Comics, which were extremely political and extremely forgettable. Coates received a special thanks credit on Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, and Black Panther. Believe it or not, Ta-Nehisi Coates is not my biggest worry with a Superman film. I'm sure he'll write a script. I'm sure it will get a lot of notes. It'll be rewritten 5 times, and they'll bring in other screenwriters, and then Jar Jar Abrams will just make up the movie as he goes along, as he tends to do. The biggest worry is Jar Jar. Abrams has a big $500 million deal over at Warner Brothers, which he closed in September of 2019. And a lot of things have changed at Warner Brothers since he closed that deal with the DCEU. A lot of DC fans have noticed a lot of shenanigans, and they've brought up Jeff Johns and Walter Hamada, and they certainly might be involved, but I'm guessing Jar Jar Abrams is behind a lot of it. As we told you in January 2020, Bad Reboot and Warner are developing the Justice League Dark universe for film and TV. Justice League Dark, or JLD team, first appeared in the September 2011 issue of Justice League Dark #1, featuring such superheroes, mostly occult and offbeat, as John Constantine, and there is a rumor that John Constantine won't look like John Constantine in the comics, Mystic and Fortune Teller, Madame Xanadu, Deadman, Shade, The Changing Man, and Zatanna. The roster is much larger, and members joined later on, with Swamp Thing being added in issue 19. Given their powers, they typically handle situations outside the scope of the traditional Justice League. Shadow and Act had the news about Coates, and I have no idea who they are. But if this feels like a troll to you, it is. This is absolutely what Jar Jar intends to do. He looks like this nice, affable guy. No, this is Jar Jar Abrams. This is what is coming for the DC universe. And I'm sorry, DC fans, you deserve so much better. You have been loyal. And like I said early on, you will be begging for Zack Snyder by the time this is done. And maybe Warner Brothers will be too, because I guarantee you this will be a flop if they have just Ta-Nehisi Coates writing a Superman film. Doesn't matter who's directing it, and doesn't matter who's starring in it. And again, I highly doubt it's going to be Henry Cavill, which is a complete bummer. Warner Brothers, you are idiots Absolute idiots. And you've always been idiots, even when you weren't owned by AT&T. I think it's just more of the same. It's a knee-jerk company that doesn't have any patience at all. It has characters that could rival Disney and crush Disney, and you don't. You've already lost Nolan. That's right. When they announced that all of their 2021 movies will be going to a streaming service, Nolan said, "I'm out." And that is a huge loss for them because that is one of the last great directors in Hollywood. And of course, 8 months ago, Warner Brothers said this. Warner Brothers reportedly doesn't think that a standalone Superman movie would be successful right now, and they just guaranteed it. According to Heroic Hollywood, the studio believes that a standalone Superman movie would not be successful at this time. Perhaps once there's more momentum after playing a supporting role in some successful DC films, there would be more of a chance for a standalone film. And this was after he starred in the mega hit that was The Witcher. Now, I know a lot of people had problems with that, and I did too, but we cannot deny it was very popular, and Henry Cavill is an A-list actor. And I've said before, they should have a Superman trilogy in production, just not with Jar Jar Abrams and Ta-Nehisi Coates. Jar Jar Abrams has made a lot of money for Hollywood. He is normie nip. They love all the shiny things he puts on the screens and the lens flares, and they are usually filled with vapid, empty plots and characters, and it will be no different here. He has been anointed the next Spielberg without doing anything. I would say he's had a couple of competent films, and he's destroyed 2 franchises. Now, I'm sure everybody's first response is, well, we're going to get a black Superman now, and that might be the case, or it just might be hiring Ta-Nehisi Coates to write a Henry Cavill superhero film directed by one of Jar Jar's lackeys. I have no idea, and again, I hope I'm wrong about everything. I would be happy to take a big L on this video and eat tons of crow and just have a good Superman movie. But considering Bad Reboot is the organization that said no more white comfort, which I might add, comfort for all shapes, makes, and sizes is required to enjoy a luxury, like going to a movie theater that costs upwards of $100 with your family to go see a fun, inspirational Superman film, not a platform for Jar Jar Abrams or Ta-Nehisi Coates' politics. Oh, and let's not forget Jar Jar Abrams and his production company, Bad Reboot, produced The Force Awakens, which shrunk Finn on a poster for China. So much for their values. I, for one, am already missing Zack Snyder, and I guess we should be grateful we at least got one good episode with Superman and Lois. While I'm not ready to anoint anything yet, it looks pretty damn good if they stay the course, and this might explain why they took a traditional approach in the storytelling of this show, because they knew what they were getting with Jar Jar Abrams. It's just a thought. Now, I have a lot more to say on this. We're going to wrap this up for now. If you're watching this on February 26th, a Friday, the day I'm recording it, please tune in to Friday Night Tights. We will discuss this in length. If you're watching this in the future, go back and watch it. Have a great day. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.